Hello, welcome to the required teacher staff attendance training for virtual attendance. We would like to share the why of attendance in this training. First, training all staff on attendance is a yearly audit requirement. Second, attendance is compulsory for students and a job requirement for teachers and staff. Attendance is how school districts receive funding. As a reminder, funding from the state falls into two buckets, the maintenance and operations bucket and a bond bucket. Attendance fills the maintenance and operations bucket, which supports the general operations of the district, including staff salaries. Therefore, it is important that accurate and timely attendance is taken every day. If a student is marked absent, the district receives zero funding for that day. Additionally, the state will require a return of funds if inaccurate or untimely attendance is taken. If a teacher does not take attendance at all, the entire class funding for that day can be returned to TEA. TEA has provided us with specific rules for virtual attendance. Teachers must submit attendance daily just like an in-person teacher. All attendance must be taken by a certified teacher or professional. We must maintain documentation and must record the time the teacher took the attendance. A student is considered present if they meet one of the three criteria. The three criteria are as follows: daily progress in the learning management system, daily check-ins via teacher-student interactions, or the completion or turn-in of an assignment. Please note that LISD has chosen a daily TEKS-based activity that will be a primary source for daily attendance. This activity is aligned with the TEKS and shows that the student is accessing instruction as well as turning in an assignment. While this will be a primary source, students can and will be counted through the other methods as allowed. For example, if a student were to take a midterm in person, the teacher will count that as a daily check-in via teacher-student interaction. Attendance procedures will be broken down into two subsets. The first is students who have a second period virtual class, and the second is a virtual class in periods 1, 3, or 4. We will start with how attendance will be taken for the students who have virtual classes in second period. The funding period for high school is period 2. Students must complete their assignments by 12:30 p.m. Teachers must take attendance by 1:30 p.m. for these students. You must take attendance by 1:30 every day. If you hit submit or save and accidentally submit the wrong code, please email the correction to the virtual attendance clerk. As a reminder, accurate attendance is very important for both the student and the district. If a student engages past 12:30, they can still receive academic credit for the assignment, but their attendance will not be changed unless there was an error in the initial coding. Periods 1, 3, and 4 will have slightly different procedures. These class periods have a midnight to 11:59 engagement period. Students can engage throughout the entire day. Teachers must take the initial attendance between 3:45 and 4:45. However, the teacher must submit no later than 4:45. You are encouraged to wait until most of your class has met an engagement criteria to be marked present. Again, the wait time should be no later than 4:45. Please make sure you take attendance as accurately as possible when you do submit. Since students can engage after 4:45 and up until 11:59 at night, there will be a correction period the following day. If a student was marked absent at 4:45 but engaged after hours, the student's absence can be turned into a present code. Procedures for this change will be provided by your administrator and/or your virtual attendance clerk. All attendance corrections for the prior day should be done prior to the current day 4:45 deadline. During the first 4 days of school, attendance procedures are slightly different. This is due to the fact that a student is not considered enrolled until they are present for the funding period or time. If a student does not have a present code for each of the first 4 days of school, they will be no-showed or withdrawn from our system. This is called the no-show process. To help determine who should stay enrolled and not no-showed, you will use Skyward to record attendance just like any other day. You will use the option to mark a student present if they engaged and absent if they did not. As a reminder, follow the rules outlined for each period as described in the previous slides. Those teachers that have a period 2 funding time must follow the 1:30 guideline. This is the period that will determine the enrollment for a student. If you have students on your roster with whom you believe should not be in your virtual class, please make sure you email the virtual attendance clerk and the virtual counselor so this can be looked into. One key element for the first 4 days is that you must not enter grades into Skyward. You may take grades the first 4 days of school, but please do not enter them into Skyward until Tuesday, August 18th. This is due to system limitations in the no-show process. For the rest of the year, you will continue to use Skyward and continue to mark students present or absent based on their engagement. Please meet the guidelines set forth for each of the virtual periods. Our hybrid students may be pre-coded for special situations like field trips or testing days or OSS and a few other scenarios. These students will have their attendance blocked and you may not be able to change it. If a student who is pre-coded did not engage, please let your virtual attendance clerk know so they can follow up with the student's main high school campus. The next few slides show you the process to take attendance. Always remember to hit Saved after you take attendance. Otherwise, the attendance will not be official and it will look like you did not take it for the day or that period. The next few slides have already been seen in the required CUE training. This slide shows you how to access your student list. This slide shows you how to take attendance and mark the student present or absent. You should never use tardy for a virtual class. The previous 2 slides were the list method of taking attendance, but you can also choose to take attendance by a seating chart. This slide shows you how to do that. When using a seating chart, the present or absent is below each square. Always remember to hit Save or Save and Back so that your entries are recorded. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this attendance video. We hope you have a great year.